they have the three different things or three different reasons. So first one is the lamina. Lamina also known as the epipodium. This lamina also known as the epipodium. And this petiole is known as the mesopodium. Petiole also known as the mesopodium. And this leaf base is known as the hypopodium. Hypopodium. Clear? Epipodium, lamina, mesopodium, petiole, and hypopodium, that is the leaf base from where the leaf arises. Sorry, yes, from where the leaf arises. That is the axil of leaf. Okay, axillary bud. That you can say the axils of leaves. Okay, from in which, just look at this. I'm talking about the structure of stipules. Stipules generally arise between the axils of leaves. This is the green, short, reduced leaf-like structure. Green, short, reduced leaf-like structure, that is called stipules. If the stipules is there, that is the stipulate. Otherwise, ex-stipulate. Okay. Now, you can see stipules. And in monocotyledons, the leaf base expands into a sheath covering the stem partially or wholly. In case of the monocots, suppose that this is the monocots. What we have seen in case of the monocots, the leaf base forms a special type of structure. It is looking like the sheath. Sheath means they covered like this. If you'll see, so they covered. Okay, they have the sheath-like structure. Okay, they have the sheath-like structure which covered to the stem. If you have simple example, you have to seen maize plant or sugarcane plant, in which if you see the leaf, they have the base, they form the cover-like structure, that is sheath. Okay, so it is found, means leaf base. This is the important question. Leaf base expands into a sheath covering. Leaf base expand into a sheath cover. Clear? Sheath cover. Where it is found? It is found in the monocot. So stem partially or in monocotyledons, leaf base sheath cover the stem partially or wholly. In some leguminous means dicot. In some leguminous plants, the leaf base may become swollen, and which is called the pulvinous. If you have seen the leguminous plant, so suppose that from here, this is the leaf base, and this leaf base may become swollen. It will be become swollen. Okay. Okay. Now change the color, so then you can just, okay. This leaf base becomes swollen. Okay. And this structure is known as found in the pulvinous. This type of the structure is known as the pulvinous. Okay. So leaf base becomes swollen into the leguminous plant, and such structure is known as the pulvinous. Is it fine? Leaf base forms sheath cover in monocot. Leaf base becomes swollen and forms a special structure which is known as the pulvinous. This pulvinous type of structure found into the Leguminosimus dicot plant. Now, again, the petiole help hold the blade to light. Okay, the basic function of petiole, to hold the blade means leaf blade, that is lamina to light, and petiole is made up of the collenchyma. You have to learn very important point. I am going to tell. The petiole generally it is made up of the collenchyma cells. It is made up of the collenchyma cells. It is made up of the collenchyma cells. Okay, and we know very well collenchyma provide the flexibility. The basic function of collenchyma, it provides the flexibility. Clear? Okay. So the petiole is made up of the collenchyma cells. One simple question, you have to see the peepal tree. If you'll see the peepal tree, whether wind blowing or not, but every time their leaf continue shaking like that, means moving like that. Why? Anyone can you tell? Subbalakshmi, Archana, Monisha, and Mahalakshmi, S. Sanmugupriya. Anyone can you tell why this leaf is continue shaking or blowing without air current, no wind blowing? What is the reason? The reason is that the petiole is too long. In people tree, that is people tree Ficus religiosa. In that tree, they have the petiole is too much long. Due to this, it is continue blowing. Due to there is no wind blowing, there is no air current running, but it will always, if you see their leaf of the ficus plant, Ficus religiosa plant, always shaking like that. Okay, now this is the reason. And then this is the, so it is clear. Pulvinus found in the dicot plant. Leguminaceae, it is the swollen leaf base. And sheath covering or sheath cover, it is found in the monocot, and it is found in the monocot, and it covers the all monocots plants. Okay, and the petiole held hold to blade light. I told lamina to held by this petiole, and it is the light. It will be the light. Long, thin, flexible petiole allow leaf blades to flutter in wind. If the long petiole, I told already, if the petiole will be long, they will help to flutter in the wind. If too much long, without flutter in wind. Are you getting or not? Like in people, the petiole is too much long, no air blowing, but without air, without wind, it is fluttering like that. Okay, so this is the basic function of the petiole. And then some places petiole also becomes swollen, we will see, thereby cooling the leaf and bringing the fresh air to leaf surface. Okay, the basic function of petiole, when they if they are shaking like that, what happen? They will take the fresh air and cooling the leaf surface of this. Okay, now the lamina or leaf blade is green expanded part of the leaf with ventlets and vein. Okay, now it is saying the lamina, that is the leaf blade, or it is also known as the epipodium. I told lamina or leaf blade, it is known as the epipodium. So lamina or leaf blade is green expand part, means maximum surface area occupied by this lamina. So maximum part of the leaf with the veins and ventlets. So there is the primary vein, and they have the small veins, means secondary vein, and they have the also ventlets. Okay, they have the also ventlets. There is usually a middle prominent vein, which is known as the midrib. So this middle prominent vein, which is known as the midrib, this is called the midrib. This is the midrib. Okay, here the midrib, but it is the, I think, monocot plants. Okay, midrib, which is known as the midrib. Veins provide rigidity to the leaf blade and act as a channel of transport for water, because the water also needed to the leaf. So the basic function of midrib to provide the water. Okay. Minerals and food materials. The shape of margin, apex, surface, and external incision lamina varies in the different leaves. Okay. According to shape, margins, and apex and surface of extent incision. Incision means, suppose that here this leaf. This is the normal leaf. It is not incision. But some leaf, they are going to incise like that. This is called the this is called the incision. Okay, this is generally called the incision. So according, so somewhere dentate type, somewhere comb like. Okay, different incision is there. Okay, but it is not in your NCERT, so I will not talk all these things. Okay, next you can see. Okay, wait one more second. Now next topic is the venation. Venation is also very important. In the venation, you can see venation means it is also very important. Firstly, you can see the structure which represents the venation B. B represents the reticulate venation, means one is the midrib, and they have the different types of the primary vein, then secondary vein, then tertiary vein, then ventlets like that. Okay, this is the reticulate venation. And this type of the venation where the everyone is not, means they have the parallel type of venation. This is the parallel type venation found into the monocot. Okay, so this thing happened. Now the arrangement of veins in the ventlets in the leaf in the lamina of leaf is termed as a venation. Lamina of leaf, the arrangement of vein and ventlets, it is called the venation. The venation is termed as a reticulate. It is found into the dicot. So when the ventlets form a network That you can say they are going to form the network-like structure. Network-like structure. So this is called the reticulate. When the veins run parallel to each other within lamina, the venation is termed as a parallel venation. Now parallel, they are running to the parallel of lamina. Okay, this is called the reticulate venation. Sorry, parallel venation. The leaves of dicotyledonous plants generally possess reticulate venation, while parallel venation found in the dicot. Characteristics of the monopod. So parallel means this is the C, there parallel venation, and here R stands for reticulate venation. Clear? So one represents the parallel venation and another represents the reticulate venation. Okay, is it fine? Is it
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Archana, Monisha? Okay, now sometimes if this reticulate venation may be unicostate or multicostate. Okay, unicostate means they have the single. Okay, if there is the single, that is the unicostate, multicostate. And one more, maybe divergent or convergent type. Divergent means like that, if they are arising like that. This is the divergent. You already studied in evolution. Divergent means they arise from the same place, but it is going to different places. That is divergent. And convergent means they arise from the different place, but they are going to meet on the same place. This is called the convergent. So these veins may be divergent or convergent type, unicostate or multicostate. Clear? If they have the single midrib, or sometimes they have the more than this. So that is the multicostate. Okay, this condition. But it have not given this talk only NCERT. Whatever it have given, we will discuss only this, not beyond NCERT. Next is the phyllotaxy. No phyllotaxy. That is the types of leaf. Okay. Next is the types of leaf. What is the types of leaf? That means on the behalf of lamina insertion. Okay, lamina incision. On the behalf of lamina incision, they have the leaf, and this leaf is classified into the two different types: simple leaf and compound leaf. So I'm drawing the flow chart. You can see that is the types of leaf. Types of leaf. Two different types. First one is the simple leaf, and second one is the compound leaf. Okay, simple leaf and compound leaf. Compound leaf again classified into the two different types: pinnately compound leaf, CL, and palmately compound leaf. Pinnately compound leaf and palmately compound leaf. Okay, so pinnately compound may be different types. Means uniseriate, not uniseriate, unipinnate, imperipinnate, bipinnate, multipinnate. Okay, so there is the different type: unipinnate, imperipinnate, bipinnate, multipinnate. Okay, palmately compound leaf. This will be also like uni means that is the palmately unipalmate. That is not use the term unipalmate. Other is using. Okay, so that is the sufficient for you. Pinnately compound leaf, unipinnate, bipinnate, and imperipinnate, and multipinnate. Okay, multipinnate. Now this is the classification of leaf. So just clear the concept. What is the simple leaf? Look it. Suppose that this is the leaf. This is the leaf. Okay. In this leaf, you can see they have the insertion. This type of leaf is known as the simple leaf. Simple leaf. They have the petiole. I'm also drawing. You can see that is the petiole and leaf base. This is the petiole. It should be petiole. And one more structure which is known as the stem. This is the stem, and by which they gets attached. So this structure is known as the leaf base. So here this structure is known as the leaf base. Now what we are seeing, this is the simple leaf. Simple leaves, what is the criteria? Just read in your NCERT what it have given. A leaf, it's said to be simple when its lamina entire or when incised, the incision do not touch the midrib. It is saying that in season do not touch the midrib. Very important. Now you can say in season is there, but it is not going to touch. Touch means this is the sorry, this is the like that. Wait, I have drawn wrongly. Like that. If you see, this is the leaf. Okay. Now they are forming like that in this way. In this way, it is fine. Okay. In this leaf, you can see it is saying in season. In season means what in season? In season, you can say this is structure. In season means like that. This structure is called the in season. This is called the in season. What we are seeing in season is there. In season here, 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 also in season here. But this in season, never touch the midrib. Never touch midrib. It is not going to touch midrib. Clear? It never touch the midrib. So this type of leaf is called the simple leaf. Are you getting or not? Just read. A leaf is simple. A leaf said to be simple when its lamina entire or incised. What we are seeing? Entire means whole incision or little bit incision. So here whole incised. The incision, what is saying? If you'll see, wait one second. Okay. The incision, you can say the incision do not touch the midrib. Now you can say incision up to here, but they are not going to touch the midrib. So this is called the simple leaf. Okay. Another condition. Suppose that this is the leaf. Okay. Now you can say this incision where it is going, it is touch to midrib. Now this is going to touch the midrib. Touch midrib. Clear? Touch midrib. Okay. This is going to touch the midrib. Clear? So this type of the leaf, when they are going to touch the midrib, what happened? They will form a new structure. New structure form. The midrib gets converted into the rachis. This structure is known as the rachis. Midrib going to convert into the rachis. Okay. And this will be become like that. It will be become like that. It will be become like that. Clear? It will be become like that. This leaf gets converted into the small leaflets. This leaf gets converted into the small leaflets. Are you getting or not? This leaf gets converted into the small leaflet. So this type of the leaf is known as the compound leaf. This type of leaf is known as the compound leaf. Now you can read. When the incision, the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking it into the number of leaflets. I told already. The leaf called compound leaf. This type of the leaf is known as the compound leaf. So such type of leaf is known as the compound leaf. Okay. Now, a bud is present. A bud is present in the axil of petiole in the both simple and compound leaves, but not in the axil of leaflets, the compound leaf. Okay. The compound leaves may be two types. Now I told already the compound leaf may be two types. One is the pinnately compound leaf, another is the palmately compound leaf. Okay. Now look at this leaf. Azadirachta indica, neem. Azadirachta indica, neem. That is the scientific name of this tree. This tree. Okay, neem. You can see this is the pinnate type of leaf. This is the pinnate. Okay, pinnate. And what is the? This is the pinnate compound leaf. Unipinnate, imperipinnate, bipinnate, multipinnate, but it is the unipinnate type. Okay. And if you'll see at the apical they have the only single leaf. So this is called the imperipinnate. This type of leaf is known as the imperipinnate. Clear? This type of leaf is known as the imperipinnate. Why? Because if you see both where is the together, but at the apex they have the single leaf. Impair, odd, not even, odd, impair. Clear? So this leaf is the what they have get? Imperipinnate. This type of the leaf is known as the imperipinnate because they are forming the impair. Clear? Is it okay? Is it fine? Archana, Monisha, Subhalakshmi, S. Sanmukhpriya, Harini, Vandana, Mahalakshmi, and Priya. So these people means 8 people are attending. Okay. So now it is clear. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Very good, Subhalakshmi. S. Sanmugh Priya. என்ன சொல்லுங்க சரியா?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Monisha. Daridi. She is here or not? I think Daridi is not here, huh? Okay, so let's leave it. A pinnately compound leaf. The number of leaflets are present on the common axis. The axis name is the rachis. That you can see they have given the name rachis, which represents the midrib of the leaf as in the neem. That is looking like the midrib, but now midrib gets modified into the rachis structure. Okay. Again, you can see. Wait, Pandranga. Okay. In palmately compound leaf, it is looking like the palm. Palm means, suppose that this is the stem. I'm drawing this figure. With the figure, your concept should be clear. This is the stem. At the apical part of the stem, you will see at the apical part of the stem, they forms like this structure. From a single portion, they form like this structure. So this is called the palmate type. Palm means like this. This palm, they have the different 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. They have the palmate type. Okay. So palmately, this is called the palmately compound leaf. The leaflets are attached on a common point. The point should be here. One is the common. Okay. So now you can say the point common point here. It is the common point. Okay. And the tip of petiole. It is the common point at the tip of petiole as in silk cotton. It is found in the silk cotton. Is it clear? You have to learn. Example should be clear. Silk cotton is the example of palmate type, and pinnately compound leaf is the Azadirachta indica. That is the neem. Is it fine? Okay, wow. Now, next point is the phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy means the pattern of arrangement of leaf. That is called the phyllotaxy. So it's the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branch. The pattern of arrangement of leaf on the stem or branch, that is called the phyllotaxy. This is usually are 3 types: alternate, opposite, and whorled. It is saying alternate means like that, one by one. Opposite means together. They have arises like that. Opposite together. And whorled means like that, one here, one here, one here, one here. They form the whorl. Like tiffin hai rag the, they looking like whorl. Okay, it is looking like the whorl means DNA. They forms the arrangement of leaf. It is similar to whorl. So 3 different types of the arrangement: alternate, opposite. In opposite also 2 different. One is the decussate. And another is the superposed. One is the decussate, another is the superposed. Anyone, do you know the example of decussate? Decussate type, Calotropis. Superposed, guava. Clear? Calotropis and superposed is the guava. Is it clear? So alternate phyllotaxy means excuse me. So phyllotaxy means alternate, then opposite, and then whorled. In opposite also 2 different types. One is the decussate, another is the superposed. Okay. And decussate example is the Calotropis procera, and superposed is the guava. Now, this is usually of 3 types: alternate, opposite, and whorled. In alternate type of the phyllotaxy, a single leaf base arises at each node in alternate manner. Now you can say alternate manner means this is the guava. It will be the superposed. Okay. And this represents the China rose. So China rose means one here, one here, one here, one here, then one, then one, then one. Means one by one, alternate manner. China rose, this is the example of alternate manner. Okay. So another is the, in guava I told there is the in guava, again one more decussate type, Calotropis procera. They form like that. In this way, in this way, in this way. That is the decussate type. Okay. Now, as in China rose, mustard and sunflower. So example of three, alternate example of three. So you can say first one is the China rose, second is the mustard. Mustard, that is the Brassica campestris, mustard, China rose, mustard, and one more. Third is the sunflower, sunflower plant. Anyone, can you tell scientific name of sunflower? Scientific name of sunflower? Anyone? Solungila? Helianthus. Very good. So Helianthus is the scientific name of sunflower. Now, in opposite type, a pair of leaves arise at each node. In opposite type, the pair of leaves arise at each node and lies opposite to each other and is Calotropis and guava plant. I told already, Calotropis, decussate, and guava is the superposed. Okay. So now you can say they are growing, but in opposite in manner. Clear? They are growing, but in opposite. Opposite means like that. Means they have arise from the same axis together. Same axis together. That is the opposite manner. Okay. And in which decussate and superposed. Superposed means little bit one by one. Okay. Decussate this like that. One by one. Okay. Then if more than two leaves arise at each node, a form whorl, it is called the whorl in Alstonia. Okay. It is saying they are going to form whorl-like structure. Whorl means suppose that this is the node. I'm drawing the structure of the node. Now you can see. This is the node. This is the node. Okay. At the node structure, in the node. Okay. In the node, they have the arise and this leaf arise. So now you can see. This one direction, one direction, one direction, one direction, and one direction. So this is looking like the word. It is looking like whorl. Okay. So such type found into the Alstonia. Alstonia is the example of whorl type of phyllotaxy. Clear? Alstonia is the example of whorl type of the phyllotaxy. Okay. So phyllotaxy clear? Three different types. First one is the simple. Okay. Simple means alternate. First one is the alternate, second is the opposite, and third is the word. Alternate example is the China rose, mustard. Okay, China rose, mustard, and one more. That is the sunflower. China rose, mustard, sunflower. Alternate manner. Okay, and opposite Calotropis and guava Calotropis. That is the decussate, and guava is the superposed. Then last is the whorl type. Whorl means now you can see. Suppose that this is the single internode. Then again one more sorry, not internode, node. One more internode is one more node is there. Again in this node they have arise. So they form the whorl-like structure. So such type of the arrangement is known as the whorl phyllotaxy. This is known as the whorl phyllotaxy. Is it fine? So phyllotaxy means the mode of arrangement of leaf on the stem or branch. Okay, this is called the phyllotaxy. Now last topic, that is the leaf modification. Leaf modification. Okay, now you can see modification of the leaf. Modification of leaves. Now, okay. Modification of leaves, just look at here. Leaves are often modified to perform function other than photosynthesis. Okay, the basic function of leaf, transport of the mineral nutrients, perform the photosynthesis because it is the site they have the chlorophyll pigment. Okay, they are converted into the tendrils, that is called leaf tendrils. This is called the leaf tendril, stem tendril. A stem tendril I taught already. Anyone, can you tell a stem tendril example?
Cucurbitaceae, sir.
Very good. Cucurbitaceae. Excellent, Sanmug Priya. Cucurbitaceae is the family where they are found the stem tendril. Leaf tendril found into the Pisum sativum. Leaf tendril found into the Pisum sativum. Okay. Leaf tendril found into the Pisum sativum. So there may be Pisum because there is the two different types of the pea. One is the wild pea and another is the garden pea. Can you tell which is the name of Pisum sativum?
Garden pea, sir.
Very good, Subbalakshmi. Garden pea means Pisum sativum. Pisum sativum. And wild pea? Anyone, can you tell wild pea scientific name? And where it have used? Wild pea, where it have used? Anyone, can you tell? You don't know. Lathyrus odoratus. Lathyrus odoratus. Lathyrus odoratus. And it is used into the study of gene interaction. A study of gene interaction. This Lathyrus odoratus used. Are you getting or not? For the gene interaction study, they use the Lathyrus odoratus, it is known as the wild pea. So in Pisum sativum, garden pea and Lathyrus odoratus both have the leaf tendril. Is it clear? Is it okay, Shreya?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, so the leaf, they are modified to perform the function other than photosynthesis. Okay. Then they converted into tendrils for climbing as peas. Peas, that is the pea. And sometimes this leaves gets modified into the spine for defense, as in cacti. Cacti, that is the Apunsia. Apunsia. Apunsia, where the leaf they gets modified into the cactus-like structure. Now you can see this form a cactus-like structure. Okay, Apunsia or cacti. Okay. The fleshy leaves of onion and garlic store food. Very, very important. What we have seen, there is the confusing question because they are also telling bulb. Bulb is a type of now anyone not telling. Bulb is a type
Stem
of
modification.
stem modification. Very good. Stem modification. Which type of stem modification? Aerial, subaerial, or underground?
Underground, sir.
Very good. It will be the underground modification. Okay. That is okay if they have given the bulb. But if they are going to ask different way question, just try to understand how they are going to ask the question. They can ask in this way. The fleshy leaves of onion and garlic store food. They can give in this way. Onion and garlic. Onion and garlic store food. Store food. Store food. Clear? It is the leaf, stem, root, or inflorescence. So then what will be the correct answer? Correct answer?
Leaf, sir.
Leaf. Okay, it is the leaf because this is the NCERT line. Okay, in this one, this is the confusion. They have not going to ask very tough, but if your concept should be clear, because they have also given same concept into the underground modification where they are saying it is the modification of a stem, but here they are saying if they are going to store the food, this is also fleshy leaves. Okay, that means it is the leaves modification. Okay, if they have given the bulb, so then you will take the bulb. Okay, otherwise that will be the leaves. Okay, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now again, in some plants such as Australian acacia, that is babul. In Hindi, it is called the babul. They have also their leaf gets modified into the spine. Australian acacia, the leaves are small and short-lived. Okay, the leaves are small and short-lived. The petiole in these plants expanded, become green and synthesis food. Very, very important. They are saying in Australian acacia, it is the plant. Australian acacia, where petiole gets modified. Petiole gets modified. Okay. Petiole gets modified into petiole. This expand and become green. Modified into the green. Expand and involves in the synthesis of food. Clear? It involves in the synthesis of food. Means the petiole can be also perform the photosynthesis phenomenon. Okay, the petiole become expand, green already, because petiole already green, and they involves in the synthesis, means they are performing the photosynthesis. This is the exception, that is Australian acacia, where the petiole gets modified into the leaf-like structure. Okay, so now again I'm reading. The petiole in the plant, in this plants expand, become green, and synthesis of fruit. Leaves of some certain insectivorous plants such as pitcher plants, Venus flytrap, or modified the leaves. Okay, we know very well example insectivorous plant. Insectivorous plant. Okay, insectivorous plant. There is the two example. First one is the pitcher plant. Can you tell another name of pitcher plant? Pitcher plant, another name?
Nepenthes.
Very good. Nepenthes. And Venus flytrap? Venus flytrap. Pitcher plant, that is the Nepenthes. Venus flytrap. Anyone, do you know the common name of Venus flytrap? You will find, it is your homework. You will find the, I will ask in the next class. What is the common?
Dionia, sir.
Dionia. I don't know exact. So that's why I gave to homework you. Huh? If I know means, I know means I can tell. I told you. But I will tell if I don't know how I can tell. So that's why I gave to homework. You will find. You are saying Dionia. I think it is not correct. Little bit. I'm thinking it is not correct. Okay. So Venus flytrap and pitcher plant Nepenthes. So these two are the insectivorous plants. If you have seen, they have a special type of structure. Leaves gets modified where the insects will come. They will close that. They have the lid, upperculum lid like structure. Lid will close, and through the mucilage, the insects will stick in this. That structure, particular structure, is known as the bladderwort. It is looking like the wort, bladderwort. Okay, where they get trapped and ultimately they will eat them. Okay, so this is the modification of leaf. So in this way, now the leaf modification finish. So leaf, types of leaf, venation in leaves, phyllotaxy, and modification of leaf. So we have finished overall this modification of leaf. And in next class, I will start the inflorescence, and it will be the start in next class. Clear? So is it fine? It is okay? Is it okay,
Yes, sir.
everyone?